What do you need to do to change? If you find that there is a misalignment, you are a freedom person, but you spend money like a pleasure person, how do you work on this negative or misaligned money mindset in terms of your conscious and your subconscious so that they're aligned? What do you need to do? Hello and welcome back to the Moneymatics podcast. My name is Omobobola. Yeah, so that was the question I asked Gbemi last week, remember? And so this week I bring you the concluding part of this interview where she's answering this question, and I really hope that you enjoy this conversation.
Yes, so
yes, please break it down for us.
Scenario is peculiar. And we cannot give like a general blanket formula to change it, to reprogram the subconscious. I think I use about 52 techniques, but each scenario is different. So for example, people usually, okay, let's say for example, you find yourself doing, giving away, and then 2 months after you're struggling to pay your bills. And you're like, I make money, I lose money. I make money, I lose money. You know, people in Nigeria, we call that, I love the Yoruba culture, we call that amubo. They'll say, oh, you owe something and then it drops.
It drops.
They think it's spiritual, right? They think it's a curse, it's a generational thing. No, it's not. It's a subconscious wiring that we pass down from generation to generation, and then we keep getting the same result. So if, for example, somebody does that a lot, you find that, oh my goodness, I make money.
And I lose it.
And then 2 months after I'm struggling to pay my bills, what is going on? I need to break this cycle, right? I usually say that you sit with money. When the money comes to you, the first thing you do is don't give it out. Take a percentage of it. I mean, pay tight if you want to pay tight, but take a little bit out of it and go for anything that gives you self-care. Anything that takes care of you as a self. Because when you do for other people at the detriment of yourself, that's getting from a place of low self-worth, where you are finding your worthiness in the smile that you do for other people. It should start from you. I'm not saying don't do, but it should start from you. Your cup should be full before you fill out. Otherwise, that traumatic circle will keep going. So do something that means self-care to you. So let's say, for example, I love spa, but you will never find me going to the spa because I feel, why should I go to the spa when people are starving? You know, that's a belief that is negative.
Yeah, some people have, yeah.
So what I will say to the person is define what self-care means to you. Okay? Okay, let's say, for example, spa. Take a little bit out of that money. Don't spend the money. Just take a little bit out of money. Go to the spa and enjoy. Feel into yourself. Feel into yourself. Don't touch that money for a certain number of days. What you will find out is that the more you feel yourself, the more your level of self-worth increases. Okay? The more your level of self-worth increases. Once your self-worth keeps rising, you will start thinking of yourself more than you are thinking of other people. And this is what happens. This is where it is spiritual. Because you're thinking of yourself more, just a little bit more, it's coming more into your consciousness. It's coming more into your consciousness. The ideas that will pop to you will be ideas that would attract more money to you, so you can even bless people the more. Because there are people that are tied to the blessings that is coming to you. So if you allow
definitely
to get only 10%, you will only be able to do that. But if you expand yourself through self-worth to get 100%, you're able to do times 10 of that.
That's
so
true.
I always suggest that for people who struggle with that, right? Now, there are some people who have negative money beliefs, and different beliefs have different antidotes. Okay? Negative money is like, oh, if I make more money, my marriage is probably going to crash. My husband will not be able to take it. Yes, people have...
Maybe even a man who thinks that if he has a lot of money, then, I don't know, then his wife is going to only be with him because of money.
He's only going to be with them because of money.
Yeah.
If we have a negative money beliefs, and this is where beliefs come from, right? Let let me give this analogy. So let's say, for example, you are in a fantastic mood. You are in a good mood and you get to work and your boss says, oh, do this, this, this. How would you describe the way you go about performing those tasks? What adjectives would you use to describe it? Because you're in a good mood.
Probably, oh, that was easy, or I like doing that, or that was, yeah.
So let's say you do it easy. We do it with love, you enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but let's say you go to work and you were not in a good mood. All right, like you were not in it that day. You just had to be there because you had to be there. How would you define the way you would do the work? What words do you use to describe it?
Probably grudgingly, probably stressed out, and you're like, oh, is that into my stress?
Grudgingly stressed out. Okay. So do you agree that the way you feel determines the way you take out actions, the way you perform actions?
Yeah.
And the way you perform actions on a consistent basis will determine your results, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So that means that our feelings determines our actions and determines our results. So, but what is behind the feelings? What makes up our feelings? What determines if we're feeling at ease, if you're feeling love, if you're feeling excited, if you're feeling positive feelings? It's our thoughts. You cannot have negative thoughts and then you're feeling good. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Every single time you're feeling good, check yourself. It's the thoughts.
You're having good thoughts.
You're having good thoughts. Yes.
As a man thinketh in his heart, so easy.
So easy. So despite your physical environment, you are having what? Good thoughts. Your physical environment may be shitty, but what's going on in your head is positive thoughts. And so if our thoughts determines our feelings determines our actions determines our results, what then makes up our thoughts? What's the singular thing that makes up our thoughts? The way you think is different from the way I think. What makes up our thoughts is our beliefs. Beliefs are like the Lego. I call them Lego, the Lego building blocks of thoughts. It's the way you think of something, your perspective on something that determines how you think about something. So if, for example, you don't like your bank account, you don't like your financial status, you don't like the way you struggle for money, you don't like the way you live paycheck to paycheck, you don't like that you make money and you lose it, you don't like that you struggle for money in your business, and these are the results you are getting physically, that means there's something wrong fundamentally with your beliefs. Because at the end of the day, it was the belief that led to the thoughts, that led to the actions that gave you the results that you don't like in life. So if you want to change your results, this time around we're talking about money, even though it applies on everything.
Yeah, it applies to everything.
Everything. Then we have to change the beliefs. So
how do you change your beliefs? You start listening to something else, you start reading something else, you start changing your environment. How do you
change your beliefs? Thank you very much.
Because beliefs are really very deep rooted, isn't it? They're usually very, very deeply seared into people's consciousness because it's been formed from when they're very young.
Absolutely.
Can you teach an old dog new tricks?
Yes, because your brain can grow new neurons and that can influence your perspective and therefore your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your results, your behavior. Yes. So even though it's not common, because a lot of people don't get to do that once they grow older. But truly, when we say, is it possible? Yes, it is possible. The truth is that once we are 9 years old, our subconscious mind stops developing at the rate that it was developing from birth. So between the age of 0 to 9, it was malleable. You could drop anything. It was like a wet clay. You could mold anything there. And what was dropped there for us? Our parents' beliefs about money, our family, our environment, our culture. It wasn't even our own. We got all of these beliefs without our permission. Now, I must say that there's nothing wrong with empowering beliefs that give you good results. So if you look at your account, because I like to say, look at your bank account, look at the way money flows into your experience. If you love what you see there, if you're comfortable with it, trust me, your beliefs are on point. You don't need to change it. But let's say you don't like it. You're not comfortable with it. I'm going to teach a very easy blanket method that one can use, because like I said, every situation is peculiar. Some is
peculiar.
Trauma. Okay. So now we call it belief replacement. So if you see, okay, let's say a 9-to-5er, for example, you don't like your work, it's stressing you up. You're not spending enough time with your family. You're not doing the things that you love. At the end of the day, you're still living paycheck to paycheck. And you know that you cannot leave that job because the bills don't stop. But you're still going to the job year in, year out, year in, year out. There's a belief driving all of that action. And that belief is that my job is my source of money. Therefore, if I leave this job,
I won't have any money.
But if we look at that, my job is my source of money. That's not a fact, is it? A fact is, it's a belief. It's not a fact. A fact is something that is true 100% of the time. You know, we that are science, we know what is called a fact or an hypothesis. A fact is true 100% of the time. But because of the way we are raised and the way we've raised ourselves, we believe beliefs to become facts. We don't check our facts. We say, oh, the sky is blue. The sky is blue. No, that's not true. That's a belief. That's not a fact. The sky is not blue 100% of the time.
No.
At night, is the sky blue?
No. Sometimes it's even gray in the day. Come to Sweden and it can be dark. It can be black.
At 3 p.m. it's dark. You know, when the sun is shining high up there in the morning and it is super bright, the sky is white. It's not black. You see? So it's not a fact that the sky is blue. But do you see the way we all believe, the sky is blue, the sky is blue? That is so wrong. So when you say, my job is my source of money, this is where I eat from, this is where I live, it's not your source. Come on. Your job is a stream of money into your life. It is an insult to say to your creator that your job is the source of money, that out of its unlimited abundance and power, you cannot tap into the abundance of the universe except through a job. That's an insult on the creator.
Money coach, speak.
Money can come to you in
many different ways.
Your job is a stream. So the minute you change your belief and you start to think, oh, my job is a stream, what other streams am I open to? Oh my God. That's when you begin to see the beauty. And the minute you change your perspective like that, because your beliefs have changed, your thoughts will change. Normally, everything was about your job, how you do better, how you get a promotion, how you will use the money to do this, and then it's still not enough and you're grown to. Now you're thinking, what other way can I make money? Your thoughts expanded. Now, because your thoughts have expanded, your feelings would expand. Normally, you would feel bad because third week in the month, you're already broke. Now you're feeling good. You're feeling excited at the possibility of another stream of income bringing in money.
That's right.
Right? And because you're feeling good, the actions that you take will be different. Normally, let's say you get home from work and you just crash. This time around, you are ready to dedicate 1 hour, 2 hours extra to doing
something that might bring you more income.
Bring you more money, right? And you won't even feel tired. That's the beauty. And then what happens? The results that you get will be more money. Do you see that? Change your beliefs, change your life. It is not motivational hogwash. For reals, it is.
It works. It works. I mean,
this is not a blanket solution for everybody, because if you have trauma in some areas, it may not just work like that. You may do what we call exposure response. That is, you change your belief gradually. You can be like, oh my goodness, I'm a single mother. I have 3 kids. I honestly don't have the time. How is it possible for me? This is not working. Baby, what are you talking about? It can't work for me. And I understand because there's trauma there. Okay. So at that point, the kind of belief change you want to do is called exposure response, which is basically you then take it gently. You tell your brain.
Yeah. Okay, you give a taste of what can be in bites.
In bites, even though you say statements, you can create an affirmation like this for yourself. Even though my present situation does not seem promising, I believe that money can come to me in unexpected ways. Then your brain starts to look at the possibility. Or you can look at somebody else who did it, who was a single mother, and say, as it happened for so and so, I believe that it can happen for me.
Mm.
You're not pushing your brain to believe like, okay, it's just going to happen for you like that. Gently. And sometimes it may be fear, because we Africans in diaspora, we have the fear of starting up businesses, for example. Even though we've run massive businesses back home, but we're here now. We don't want to get into trouble with the law. We don't understand as much. We don't understand the business terrain. We have fear of financial instability. We just want to do our work, make our money, and send our money back home. See? If you have all of those things going on, those fears stopping you from changing your beliefs, I recommend you grab a piece of paper, you draw a line, divide it into 2. So you have 2 columns, right and left. On the right, list out all your fears. And on the left, list out the worst, list out, this is gangster, right? And I think if you have a therapist with you, so if anything goes or they can help. But list out 50 things that will not go right. 50 things that will not go right if you don't overcome this fear. Because the brain responds to negativity more than positivity. That's why negative news go viral. So list out 50 things that will not go right. If I don't get extra source of revenue, I may remain in this abusive marriage. My children may grow up and they will not be confident. And I will feel like I wasted my time. I will not be able to buy the things that I afford. I would not feel confident amongst my age mates. My family may look up. List all the negative down. By the time you write up to 50, you're like, nope.
I'm getting out of this situation.
I need to get out of it. But if you okay, you don't want to do it that hard. Just gently, you can list out 50 benefits. Okay, what are the benefits that would happen if you get over this limiting belief? So you write all the benefits, and while listing out all the benefits, you start to feel good. And when you feel good, you can coin an affirmation that you can repeat to yourself just as you're about to go to bed. I usually record it and put my headphones on, and I play it in my voice. Because every time you can reprogram your money subconscious is when you have sleep. And last 10 minutes to go to bed, to fall asleep, and first 10 minutes when you wake up. Because if you're older than 9, you cannot do any reprogramming again. Those are the only 2 times that the brain is malleable. So you do.
Interesting that you talk about before you're 9, and this is something that maybe it's for parents out there. I know this is a money, whatever you're doing to train your children, you should do it very early. You do it now before they're 9, before they're 10, because after that, it might be harder.
Absolutely. And
wow.
You see, parents, let's be careful what we say. Do I pluck money on trees? Money is difficult to get by. I have to work harder if I want to make more money. All those are negative limiting beliefs that we pass on unconsciously and create generations that are broke. Let's be careful. Let's be very, very careful.
That's good that you say that, because, funny enough, I've been thinking about that recently when we go shopping with the kids, and maybe I say, they're like, Mommy, let's buy this. I'm like, no, I didn't plan to buy that. That's not what I want to use money for. And that I'm saying from my own journey of, okay, I'm trying to work a system here to improve our money situation going forward, and then to, get into freedom and everything. But recently, I just started thinking, no, if you keep saying that, your kids will start thinking that everything is about money. Like, oh, okay, that one is too. I think my daughter said something like, how much is that? We're not buying that. That's too expensive. And I was like, that's actually not a good thing. Like, kids, you have to let them feel abundance so that they also grow up subconsciously with abundance in their mindset. You get what I mean? Absolutely. And so we have to really, really be careful, like you said, about what we say when we're with kids, even though we want to train them to be disciplined with money, to know that they don't just waste money, but we have to be careful in how we do it.
And so that I like to say the how, because we say these things a lot, and in these conversations we should also share the how. So for example, a thing that I practice with my kids in such a situation is, how can you afford it? One day, my daughter sends me, like, she goes to an online shopping app and she sends, like, I'm not kidding, she can send 90 links of things she wants to buy. 90. Like, normally you want to send something to your husband, you may send 1 or 2. That's normal. My daughter will send you like 90. Right? And she comes, every other parent that I know may be like, what, are you kidding? I don't say that because I'm careful, because our mind is malleable. The possibility that can enter our mind right now is determined by me. That's why I'm a custodian right now. Right. So I ask her, how can you afford it? What's the total amount? How? I throw it back at her. And then you see her, she's like, okay, if I do extra chores, oh, okay, if I get this grade, I know you will reward me. Oh, okay, what if I draw my designs and try to sell it on?
And I sell it, yeah.
And you know the funny thing? Then she's like, oh my God, how many do I have to do to get to 90? I'm going to reduce it to 10.
You see? Oh, wow. That's
funny. So,
wow.
But you see, the how question is very good. How can we afford it?
Thank you so much for that. That's a good way to twist it, to say, okay, how are you going to get this thing that you want, and start helping them to be responsible, to know that they have control over some things. They have control over how much money they make. They have control over how much money they spend.
Exactly.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes. Thank you so much. It's been such an amazing conversation, just sharing on this money mindset. And you brought the Coach Extraordinary on. It was really really good. Thank you for coming. Do you want to say something? If somebody probably wants to say, okay, you know what, I didn't get enough of Gbemi on Bobby's show, I need to know where she is. I need to contact her on my money reprogramming journey.
Okay, so you can follow me on Instagram at Monetization Queen, and Gbemi Oyekan, that's my name. And send me a DM, and you will connect with me. But lasting thoughts is, I just want you to know this, and this is my life's purpose. It's to tell you that every abundance that you need, everything, whether you're rich, you're wealthy, or you want to be in a permanent state of abundance, it's all inside of you. You don't need extra. You don't need extra certifications. You don't need someone to support you. It's all inside of you. You don't need anything extra. You are enough. And the more you start to embody this belief, the more your self-worth starts to rise. And then you can use all of the inspiration dropping in your mind to get to where you want to be. Your next level of abundance is not unattainable. I know that the situation may not be as you want it to be. I know it might be difficult for you to get to your next level. It may be filled with fears and all that. But just know that everything that you need is within you for real. And if you embody that belief and you change the way you think about money, the things you think about will change. And of course, your life will change. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And this is the Money Matters podcast. I'll see you next time.